Welcome to the AGORACOM.com CEO interviews, where we feature great undiscovered small cap companies to the small cap investment community.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Al O'Grady, and with us today is the president and CEO of Bard Ventures, Mr. Eugene Buchman. Bard Ventures is involved in acquiring, exploring, and developing natural resource properties. The company has been doing that since inception. Right now, Bard Ventures is involved with the Lone Pine Moly property, and that is located in northern British Columbia. Bard Ventures trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CBS. Mr. Buchman, welcome to the show.
Good morning again.
Yes, good morning. Gene, the date of today's recording is Thursday, October 23rd. Earlier this morning, you had a press release that hit the wires. Gene, fill us in. What's that all about?
Yes, thank you very much. Once again, Bard continues to drill significant intervals of mineralized core on its Lone Pine property up in northern British Columbia. The company is extremely encouraged by the results that we have obtained so far, and at the moment we've received results up to hole number 38 as announced in today's news release. Once again, we have intersections of mineralized core as long as 500 to 600 meters with very, very encouraging grades in excess of 0.1% MO. We continue with this program there as we've recently completed 48 holes on our property. As can be seen from this news release, we've received results up to hole number 38, so we do expect an additional 10 results from the drilling that has just been completed.
Okay, now with these numbers, is it pretty much what you had expected all along?
Yeah, it is, but some of these results are actually going beyond our expectations, as we now currently have an area of 510 meters by approximately 350 meters and mineralization tested to a depth of 843 meters. We do find a higher grade corridor of mineralization in the Alaskite intrusive, which do show very favorable assay results in these recent holes. This will give us, of course, the opportunity to move forward with the resource estimate, and we're, as everybody hopefully knows by now, busy with an active program so that we can complete our 43101 resource calculation, given all of these positive assays. We've been comparing these grades to those of previous drill holes. We've looked at the recent intersections that is definitely getting increasingly more mineralized, and these results actually compare very favorable with some of the other major players in the area, such as Thompson Creek, General Moly, and the Rocco mines.
Okay, so where do you go from here?
We have sent some of our core in for metallurgical testing on the property. So that'll give us some indication of how we can work with the mineralized core in the future. We also have completed flying the area with an airborne survey to make sure that we have all the contours correctly for our development should we go to that route. All of this information has been forwarded to our consultants preparing the 43101. And it's now just a question of waiting for the final 10 holes to come in, process the data, and see what we receive with our final resource calculation. In the meantime, exploration is continuing. We have a small breakup session now where we're just making sure that all the roads are in a correct manner so that we can go ahead with drilling once we get the report done. Drills do stay on the property at this stage, and we do interpret results. So we hope to be continuing to drilling early in the new year again, and hopefully increase our resource.
Okay, let's talk about the worldwide demand for moly right now. There's an interesting story on the worldwide stage in terms of what's happening with moly and the demand for that. Gene, fill us in on that.
Yes, the demand for molybdenum has been growing at nearly 8% over the last 3 years. Analysts expect the demand to continue to be growing between 6.5% and 8.4% over the next 3 years. And, we expect this to outpace the growth of supply and demand with these already low inventories that we're expecting. Just looking back at the last 10 years, the growth has been between 2 and 5% since 1997 up to 2006. Now, this is, of course, evidenced by the most notably in steel output. That grew with 7.5%, and it's expected to grow in 2008 and into the next year. The inventory levels will fall as there's no significant supply. And again, it comes down to supply and demand. There's no significant supply that is set into the market to enter the market until probably late 2009. We do know that there is a bit of a difficulty with credit markets facing, suppliers in the new construction, but we do not believe that will have a severe effect on the price of moly. The demand level still tells us that we need at least 20 to 25 million pounds of new molybdenum just to keep in pace with the demand from the market.
Okay, and speaking of the markets, I mean, I know the markets have really been on a roller coaster, but really the price of moly, it's been holding fairly steady at $33 US. Isn't that really the case?
Yeah, indeed, that's so. So we do believe that there will always be a demand for molybdenum. We've seen it increase, and our long-term expectations is until 2012 that we will stay at these levels, hopefully increase a little bit. We do not see any decline in the price until at least 2012, 2015. Keeping in mind that our project definitely, is very easy for startup costs, as we are so close to highway number 16. We've got all the infrastructure with the power lines, the natural gas line, and all of those factors will contribute to making this project decision to move forward so much easier.
Okay, and now, as I said earlier, the date of today's recording, October 23rd, the last couple of days, the Canadian dollar has really gone down in comparison to the U.S. Does that have any bearing in terms of market conditions with your company?
Well, we haven't investigated that thoroughly through yet, but, I do believe that it will have an effect on it, and at this stage, we will have to see what the future tells us on that.
Okay, let's get back to the micro perspective. Let's talk about the Lone Pine in greater detail. What's your outlook on the project, not just the short term, but also long term, say 3 to 5 years down the road?
BART continues to review these significant intervals of extensively mineralized cores very favorably. We look at having a resource on the property on one of the areas, which is called the Alaskite Zone, in excess of a few hundred of millions of tons of very great mineable ore. Being close to surface, being close to infrastructure, we believe that development of this project can move forward rapidly. We will also revisit another areas on the property, such as the Breccia Zone, the Mineral Hill Zone, and the Granby Zone. So this property will be an exploration target in some regards, as well as a development target in others. And we do believe that this project will grow as we are reasonably financed to conduct our exploration for the foreseeable future. Okay.
I notice you stay close to the BC area. Is that just because that's where the moly is, that's where it's economically viable, or are there any other parts in Canada that you're taking a look at?
We're constantly looking at other areas. Our focus is in British Columbia because we do find it favorable for doing exploration. But in these times, the company might start looking at other areas in Canada, specifically with dealing with molybdenum mineralization. And, there is even some indications that some of the minerals coming out of the zones that we have been exploring gives us some copper and zinc. Okay.
Gene, that's it as far as the formal questions are concerned, but as always, I leave my guest with the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
I think we just want to thank the shareholders for, staying with the company. It's extremely difficult times. We will endeavor from my side to keep the company going. As I said, we are reasonably financed to continue with our program. We will complete our 43-101 once we get all these results in, which is expected before the end of the year. It's always good news when we wait more for these 43101 reports, as it means that more results have been obtained to be interpreted. So hopefully next year will be a banner year for us.
Okay. On that note, Gene, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about Bard Ventures.
Thank you.
And Bard Ventures trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CBS. And you've been listening to Eugene Buchman, President and CEO of Bard Ventures, on today's Small Cap Show, produced by AGORACOM. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks for joining us.